Elvis Presley was dubbed the King of Rock and Roll and was known for his acting and singing abilities. He is regarded as one of the 20th century's most influential cultural figures. During a time of profound change in racial relations, his sexually provocative performance style combined with a singularly potent mix of influences across color lines during a transformative era in race relations brought him both immense popularity and initial controversy. Now that a new movie about him is coming up, let's learn about some interesting things about him. Hi, welcome to YouWannaWatch, and in this video, we're going to talk about the dark facts about Elvis Presley. Elvis had a twin. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935, at his parents' two-room house in East Tupelo, Mississippi, about 35 minutes after his identical twin brother, Jesse Garon, who died at birth. Jesse was buried the next day in an unmarked grave in nearby Priceville Cemetery. Elvis, who spoke of his twin throughout his life, grew up an only child in a poor family. His father, Vernon, worked a series of odd jobs, and in 1938 was sentenced to 3 years in prison for forging a $4 check. He spent less than a year behind bars. In 1948, the Presleys moved from Tupelo to Memphis in search of better opportunities. There, Elvis attended Humes High School, where he failed a music class and was considered quiet and an outsider. He graduated in 1953, becoming the first member of his immediate family to earn a high school diploma. After graduation, he worked at a machinist shop and drove a truck before launching his music career with the July 1954 recording of That's All Right. He wanted very young girls. Simply put, Elvis preferred his female companions to be female, girls who were far too young to be there. Presley was shockingly insecure about his sexuality, manhood, and self-worth, according to Alana Nash's book Baby, Let's Play House, Elvis and His Women. As a result, he was frequently intimidated by older women who might judge him for the mama's boy man child he was. To get around this, he almost always dated young girls who were too naive and inexperienced in life to notice their famous lover's numerous flaws. The vast majority of his many sexual partners were under the age of 15, which was extremely illegal even in Elvis's time. He didn't mind. It's possible, though unlikely, that he was too oblivious to what he was doing. This is a man who once asked the mother of a 14-year-old girl he liked if she could move to Graceland with him. As he reasoned, "I just want to raise her. I want her there as my wife." No, nothing creepy about that at all. For profit, his manager forced the womanizer image on him. Elvis may have dated a lot of girls, but it was mostly because his manager wanted him to. Colonel Tom Parker worked tirelessly to promote Elvis as the ultimate ladies' man, and the prospect of Elvis finally finding the one was a nightmare. Parker's grip on Elvis's love life was never more visible than in 1956, when Elvis's girlfriend, June Juanico, told reporters she was his constant. Immediately, Parker sought to squash the news, having Elvis confess to a reporter from the Miami Daily News. "I got about 25 girls I date regular. Don't worry, ladies, Elvis wants you to know there's still hope. You too can be one of the 25, but you have to buy a ticket to his show if you want a shot." Elvis's fetish for illegal, barely teen sex probably didn't tickle Parker's fancy, but if it meant his charge wasn't ruining his career with monogamy, he was probably willing to look the other way. After all, the more money he made, the easier it would be to bail out the king if the law ever decided to treat him like the rest of us. His eating habits were more dangerous than his weight loss attempts. Elvis did everything to the extreme: womanizing, pill-taking, gunning, eating, and he also dieted with little to no regard for his own health. As much as the king binge ate, he felt guilty and upset about the pounds he famously gained in the 1970s on his sparkly jumpsuit-covered frame. As a result, he participated in some of the era's many ill-advised weight loss schemes. According to The Independent, Elvis once believed he could quickly lose weight by eating nothing but banana jelly and black cherry soda. He tried it for several weeks, but it didn't result in long-term weight loss. He also tried the Sleeping Beauty diet, which involves having a doctor place you in a medically induced coma. The body wastes away while they sleep, living off itself to stay alive. Presley's pursuit allegedly ended when he fell out of a hospital bed and awoke from a coma. When he joined the Army, things got dark. Elvis Presley briefly vanished in 1957, at the height of his career. The reason for this was that he was drafted into the United States Peacetime Standing Army. He left in March 1958 with an armored division stationed in Germany, where he worked as a truck driver, a job he held before becoming a rock star. When the base became overrun with fan mail and aggressive local women attempting to scale its walls, he was transferred to a scout platoon. Elvis returned to the United States less than 6 months later, later, following the death of his beloved mother, Gladys Presley. Elvis reportedly worked through his grief by engaging in self-destructive behavior. When he returned to Germany after the funeral, he partied like there was no tomorrow, and he got into a nasty bar fight during a trip to Munich. He took some soldiers to a strip club in Paris and returned the strippers to their hotel. It was also around this time that Elvis allegedly began a daily amphetamine habit, the beginning of a pill addiction that would eventually lead to his death. Life with Elvis was rocky. Elvis notoriously met his wife, Priscilla, when she was just 14 years old during his time in the army when he served in Germany in 1959. At the time, he was 24 years old. However, the illegality of their relationship didn't stop him from making advances. Elvis was soullessly commodified by Hollywood in the 1960s, but that wasn't the king's only concern. During that time, he also grew closer to the alarmingly young Priscilla Beaulieu. She moved into Graceland with Elvis in 1963. However, as people pointed out, life with the rock star was frequently rocky. Elvis ruled over Priscilla, telling her what to wear and how to walk. He forbade her from working and even dictated the color of her hair. Priscilla would later blame Hollywood for much of Elvis's despotism, telling The Guardian that Elvis's fashion ideas came primarily from stylists and makeup artists, as well as films he watched. Despite the fact that she was at the mercy of a fashion tyrant, she married Elvis in 1967. Marital bliss gave way to blistering rage as Elvis increasingly indulged his darker urges. When Priscilla strayed outside her marriage, Elvis, who was notoriously unfaithful, allegedly exacted revenge by forcing himself on her. In an interview with ABC, Priscilla recalled her husband's harrowing habit of shooting the television screen whenever a broadcast upset him. Just how many TVs Elvis murdered is unclear, but any number greater than 0 seems excessive. Elvis and Priscilla's marriage was completely upended when their daughter Lisa Marie was born. The king no longer romantically desired his queen. He became addicted to pills and used touring as an escape from his home life. Elvis had progressed from an insecure introvert to a dangerous cultural icon. His marriage failed, culminating in a divorce in 1973. He once fired a gunshot at his fiancee. Elvis was a manipulator with extremely controlling tendencies in his behavior, and he could be violent. He met Ginger Alden when she was 20 and he was 41 years old. She was a pageant queen whom he hoped to marry, but their relationship was troubled. His treatment of her was appalling, and the two fought frequently during their time together. He allegedly asked one of his aides to pop the tires on Alden's car after one row so she couldn't leave his home, and on another occasion, when she drove away after a fight, he allegedly fired a gunshot. The couple was engaged to be married, but their turbulent relationship did not last. He drugged Priscilla. He didn't just severely manipulate Alden. According to numerous reports, Elvis drugged Priscilla and injected her with amphetamines to keep her awake during their marathon sex sessions. Presley allegedly became addicted to the drugs after being introduced to them in the army, and they eventually took control of his life. During these drugged-up sex marathons with Priscilla, Elvis also took photographs on a Polaroid camera, which he kept in a silver suitcase delivered to her after his death, years after their divorce. We are nearing the end of our video, but before we proceed, we would like to ask you to please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/c/YouWannaWatch2022 and follow us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/YouWannaWatch. Any support you provide us will help us provide you with more and better content. Okay, now back to the story. Allegations of racism. Early of 2021, Quincy Jones revealed that he always refused to work with Elvis because he was a racist. The superstar producer explained, "No, I wouldn't work with him. I was writing for Tommy Dorsey, oh God, back then in the 50s. And Elvis came in, and Tommy said, I don't want to play with him. He was a racist mother, I'm going to shut up now." Meanwhile, Public Enemy's Fight the Power includes the lyric, "Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant to me." Straight up racist that was, simple and plain. While there is no proof that Elvis was a racist, he did unquestionably appropriate black culture and repackage it for the general public. Racism in American society enabled him to have such a successful career, and it was undoubtedly something he leaned into, whether consciously or subconsciously. His body was moved to Graceland after thieves tried to steal it. Elvis was buried in Memphis Forest Hill Cemetery 2 days after his death on August 18th, next to his mother, Gladys. Following his burial, an attempt was made to steal the 900-pound steel-lined, copper-plated coffin containing his body in order to hold his corpse for ransom. 3 of the men who tried to steal his body have been apprehended. Fearing that others would follow suit, Elvis's and Gladys's bodies were moved to Graceland. They are now in Graceland's meditation garden, a secluded area of plants and fountains that he installed in 1964. It was one of Elvis's favorite areas on the estate. Is Elvis still alive? No, Elvis Presley is not still alive. However, one conspiracy theory claims that he never died but faked his death to escape the spotlight. Some conspiracy theorists are even convinced that Elvis is still hiding out at Graceland to this day, perhaps in one of the mysterious rooms that don't allow visitors. What do you think about Elvis Presley? Are you a big fan of his? Will you be watching the latest movie about his life? Did we miss anything that you think should have been included? Let us know your thoughts by writing a comment on this video. If you're interested in our other videos, just hover over the videos and just press play.